point to these board bonds as part of the debt that he was going to dismiss and not respect, as opposed to the full faith and credit pledged by the electorate. And so that means that with the financials that we have, we're going to have a great deal of difficulty borrowing money to do this this construction on the threat that a manager might come in and declare that as part of the dismissible, avoidable debt of the district.
I want to deflect this question to the superintendent. The district is under, right now, a financial plan.
That's correct.
And I would think that as part of that financial plan, you would have to go to the state treasurer before you could make any expenditure like that. Is that right?
Oh, we will. Whether we're under a plan or not, we would have to. That's part of the process because of the size of that borrowing. We do need to have municipal finance approve the borrowing. But the problem is that even when the municipal finance, presumably they will continue doing what they've always done, will approve it because we can say we're going to save enough money with this new stuff that the energy consumption is going to more than pay the, can service the indebtedness. The problem is that the banker says, well, that's not good enough. Because we think the finance manager can come in and say, no, you're not going to use those savings to pay the bankers off, you're going to do something else with it.
That could be a real dilemma. I would just offer to you, in moving that, if you get to the point of moving that proposal forward, and you need to move it with some dispatch in Lansing, I'll be very glad to help facilitate that. Okay?
The problem is with bankers after approval.
But it may be that the treasurer Treasurer Dillon can help with that whole process. And I tell you, my office has developed a pretty good relationship with the treasurer. Okay, so I want to take advantage of that, and then we can track and make sure that this stuff is moving pretty quick. Can I end right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me make one more comment. If the board wants to fine me tonight, that would be fine with me. I have known you for almost 25 years. Your wife is a teacher. I have a lot of respect for you. I do not believe, I'm not a politician, I do not believe that the process of appeasement that we try to cooperate with the Republican is going to work for us. They are after public education. They want to destroy us, and trying to be bipartisan is not going to be an answer. Let me just explain this to you. 18 months ago, 3 of us came on board. We started the $2.9 million debt. 09-10 was supposed to be $5 million deficit. Working with our teacher, working together with the community, we had surplus, as you mentioned. 10-11, we're going to show a surplus. 11-12, we would have a balanced budget until the governor says we're going to cut $400 or $500 plus retirement. They are not our friend. I'm emotional because they are not our friend. They don't want us to succeed.
Yeah, but Doc, let me just tell you, let me frame this from my perspective. I empathize, sympathize, understand. But voters made a decision this past November. And what we're dealing with now is living with it. Not only, I mean, the Democratic caucus is a caucus of 47 members. That ain't enough. And it ain't, it's their agenda. They move it. And until the voters do something different, then that's the state of affairs. And from my perspective, I will not accept just sitting around because they have the power and not try to get anything done for my district or the state. So I find ways of doing anything that I can to, and part of it is relationship building on the other side of the aisle. So at least I get a voice to say, look, have you considered, instead of moving this far, maybe we go this far instead? It ain't going to be not going any place. Now, you know, they're gonna move this stuff. But can we consider this as opposed to that? That's where we are. Now understand, we don't even have the power to do anything. And they are going to redraw the districts in this state. And they ain't gonna draw them, they're gonna draw them in their favor. So, no matter how emotional you are, I'm trying to get what I can get done, given the hand that we've been dealt. Thank you. That's all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Yes, sir.
Tell the attorney I said,
I will.
yep, yep.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
And anything we can do to help change the government, we'd be happy
All
to do
right.
that. There is a process.
Yeah, we'll be at time.
Do we have any board committee reports?
I'll just briefly say that the Finance Committee did meet with Superior Township with Brenda McKinney and Mr. McFarland, and they are interested in looking at how we can cooperatively use the Cheney, and they did ask to have a walkthrough, and then we're going to get together again and start piecing out just how we might keep that building open in use and not costing. Policy, we met last night, we have now completed section 8,000. If all goes well, 9,000 will be complete next week, and all we have to do is make some changes and resubmit those to Randy, and then subsequent approval for the board after that, after review.
Okay, under new and old business, we have adoption of resolution biennial election.
Mr. President, on this one, before I read the motion, we need to discuss who the board is going to designate for the representatives so that we can read the entire motion and resolution. We have to designate one of us as a representative to serve on the electoral body, and according to this letter and our supporting documentation, we have the two candidates that we can list them with.
That's Gregory Peoples and Bill Wright.
Correct.
Looks like the election is on the 6th, which is Monday. While I am the representative for the district for the Washington Association, I have conflicted schedule on Monday evenings. Therefore, if someone else would like to take that and run with it, that would be appreciated.
I would be willing to go with that, the board chooses. I have no objections.
Works for all of us.
Okay. Mr. President, I move that the Willow Run Community Schools Board of Education consider the adoption of the following resolution to select its voting representative and identify the candidates it supports. Whereas Public Act 419 of 2004 amended the election procedure for intermediate school districts that elect board members at a meeting of its representatives from constituent district school boards, and whereas Public Act 419 of 2004 requires a constituent school board to designate its representative and identify the intermediate school board candidate the board supports by a resolution adopted not earlier than 21 days, May 16, 2011, prior to the date of the election, and Whereas public